Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock, which means it's time for another video right here on Magic TV. First of all, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. That would be amazing. And today I'm going to be talking about how to shop for Magic online. How to shop for Magic online. Because you know what? I've seen a lot of people moaning about tricks that they've bought that they hate. And I've seen lots of people moaning about hype and this and that and the other. And you know what? I understand. I have a bottom drawer full of crap. Since I started taking reviewing seriously about 2 years ago, I have bought almost everything that comes out. So, you know, how I do it now is not the way that you should actually shop online. However, for many, many years as a professional magician, I have shopped online and I have a system that I think works. And I would like to share this with you. Hopefully, this will reduce the amount of crap that goes into your bottom drawer and means that you only buy the good stuff. So here's a few tips that you can do to shop online without worrying that everything you buy is absolutely terrible. Okay, so point number one, the first point, and I've talked about this on previous channels before, is don't buy into the hype. Okay, there's lots of tricks that get hyped. Illusionist were the first company to kind of create this whole way of marketing tricks, and since Illusionist, it's spilt out into other people. Hell, you know, there's various different levels of hype. The Quantum Deck was hyped. You know, we had those three teaser videos that went out before the actual launch of the trailer. You know, obviously Lux is hyped, and I've seen people say, "Oh, I hate hype. You know, I'm not going to buy this trick because of the hype." The first thing I can tell you is don't buy into the hype. You know, don't buy into it, because a lot of the time with the hype, all it is just like a quote or a little teaser trailer of something that absolutely doesn't tell you what the trick is. You know, when it's listed on the Magic Shop's website, that's when you can decide whether you want to buy it or not. But don't buy into the hype. By all means, watch the videos and do whatever. But, you know, I see people that post online and they're like, oh my God, I need to buy this. I need to buy this now. I've seen people like begging to borrow money online just because they need this latest trick that's not even available yet. They don't even know the price. They don't even know what the trick is or what it does. And yet they want it and they want it now. Don't buy into the hype. It's difficult to do, but the first tip I can give you is don't buy into the hype. Number two, the second point I can tell you is don't pre-order it. Don't pre-order it. Because here's the thing. This is the second thing that I see people moaning about online. Oh, it's pre-order. I have to wait. I have to go pay for it and then wait 2 weeks for it to... Well, don't. Just don't. It's as simple as that. You don't have to pre-order the trick. You can wait for the trick to go live and then you can buy it. Now, there is a risk involved in that, and the risk is if you don't pre-order it, you might not get it straight away because it might sell out if it's a really popular product. The Quantum Deck is a perfect example. The Quantum Deck came into stock. The Quantum Deck was listed, and before it actually went live, everything was sold out, and it was a couple of months before it came back into stock again. So you are going to risk not getting it immediately, but here's the thing, you don't need that trick. You don't need it really. It's not going to it's not like your audiences are there going, you know, I can't wait for Craig to start performing this trick, because when he performs that trick, that's when we can start taking his magic seriously. That's never going to happen. You know, if you don't buy it on pre-order, you can either buy it as soon as it goes live if you consider it good, or you can buy it down the line if it goes out of stock and comes into stock. If it's a good trick, it's going to come back into stock again. So don't worry about pre-ordering. You know, you don't have to pre-order. I see people going on all the time about, oh, I've pre-ordered, I didn't want to, but I don't want to miss out. Don't let the FOMO, if you don't know what FOMO is, it's called fear of missing out. And it happens, it's marketing. It's a marketing and sales tactic 101. You know, we use it all the time. Somebody will ring up and say, are you available on this date? Doesn't matter if we're available or not. We'll go, oh, it's a really busy day, not too sure. What time are you looking for? It's a perfect example. Companies do FOMO all of the time. Okay, don't be bought in by the FOMO. If you don't want to pre-order it, just don't pre-order it. It will allow you to check out the reviews and stuff before you actually buy it. Point number 3 is understanding that there is no one single trick that will make you famous. I have spoken to magicians from all over the world, and there's a lot of magicians out there that go, oh, I'm looking for that trick. I need that trick. I need that trick that's going to make me famous. I need that trick. I'm waiting for my big break, and that big break will come when I get that trick. Once I get that trick, then I will become famous and I will be the greatest magician of all time. Understand this. One trick, not one trick in the world will make you famous, right? What makes you famous is hard work, perseverance, building a brand, going out there, getting flight time after flight time after flight time, and putting yourself in situations where people see you, whether that be a national talent competition or that be entering magic competitions or that whatever it is. It's not going to come from buying a trick. Suddenly buying that trick that's just been released is not going to make you famous, especially when there's going to be thousands of other magicians that are buying it as well. What, it's going to make all of them famous at the same time? I don't think so, but the amount of people I've spoke to and have gone, why have you bought that trick? Oh, because I really need it. Why do you really need it? You know, when it's not going to be released for 2 gigs. Have you got a gig tomorrow? Yeah. What are you going to do? Well, I'm not going to do it. But you're still going to do the gig. Yeah. So you don't really need it. That's the thing. Not one trick will make you famous. You don't really need it. You know, understand that. You know, if you want to buy a new trick, that's absolutely fine. But don't buy it because you think it's going to make you famous, because that ain't going to be the case. Okay, so the next point is trying to decide if you actually need the trick in the first place. A lot of the time, it comes back to FOMO that I talked about earlier on. A lot of the time, we'll buy a trick because it just looks cool. Magicians are the type of people that want to learn how secrets are done. They want to learn how tricks are done. They'll see a trailer and they'll be like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I need to learn how that works. I've met so many magicians that buy a trick because they want to learn how it's done. Or they buy a trick because whatever the reason is. Look at your act, look at the type of places that you perform, and then ask yourself if you actually need that trick. So I spoke to somebody a little while ago, and they bought this £1,000 prop, right? I'm not going to say what it is because it might tip who the person is and they might be watching this, but they bought this trick that's over £1,000 and it's designed exclusively for stage work. And the ad copy makes it very clear that it's designed exclusively for stage work, and not parlour, but stage, full on stage. And I said to them, why have you bought that? And they went, oh, I need it. Why do you're a close-up magician. How many times have you performed on stage? Never. So you've never performed on stage, you perform close-up. Why do you need this? Oh, because audiences would love it. Yeah, they would if you were standing on a stage in front of them. Oh yeah, but then I can do a stage show. No, you can't, Muppet, because that stage show will not come together because you have bought one trick designed for stage. There's a million things that you need to learn before you put a stage show together, and buying £1,000 trick is not it. You know, look at your act, look at the type of places you perform, look at the type of audiences you perform for, look at all of this and then decide, is that trick for you? Here's a tip. If the trick says something like, perfect for social media, if you don't perform magic on social media, this probably won't work for you because it's probably not going to work very well in the real world. You know, especially if it looks like ridiculously visual. So you need to understand where the places are that you perform, the type of audiences you perform for, and then you need to show some restraint. Just because the trick looks super cool, and just because you can imagine yourself in your head doing that trick, doesn't mean it's suitable for you or your act. The next point, which expands on the previous point, is understand your performing character. And for this, I'm going to go back to my interview with Tom Crosby. I interviewed Tom Crosby very early on in the life of this channel. And if you don't know Tom, he calls himself the performing nerd. And he is just a giant nerd in real life. I've known Tom for years. He's a giant nerd. And he does a lot of tricks with Rubik's Cubes and nerdy type stuff. Built a huge, his show is amazing. Go watch it. He talked about once he understood what his character was in the show, which is not really that of a magician, it's that of a performing nerd, then he understands the type of magic. He can walk around a dealer hall and go, no, 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 because he understands what his character would do and wouldn't do. His character isn't going to do really fancy card manipulation, for example. Understand your character, and it will massively help you understand the type of magic that your character would and wouldn't perform, right? There's certain tricks that I would never buy. I would never buy a dancing cane, because my character would never perform a dancing cane in a million years. That's just one small example. Ironically, I have bought a dancing cane recently, but it's for Ryland, not for me. But understand that you need to figure out what your character is, and then the type of tricks that your character would perform. Regardless of whether you're a stage magician or a close-up magician, figure out the type of magic that suits you, and then just avoid the magic that doesn't suit you. It's really simple. Okay, so the next point is check out the reviews. And I'm talking about the reviews everywhere. Check out the review shows online. Check out the Magic Cafe. Check out the Facebook groups. Listen to the reviews. And take a full cross-section of the reviews, okay? Don't just watch your favourite review show. Don't just watch me, because I might be wrong. Or it might just be something that I believe in, but it might be wrong. You know, go check out everybody else as well. Go check out everybody's opinions. If you don't pre-sell it, if you don't pre-order it, and you don't buy into the hype, and you wait a couple of weeks, then you'll be able to see what the reviews are like, and read the reviews as well. Don't just look at the star rating, read the reviews. So for example, if a star rating is 1 or 2 and they go, oh, it's not very good, the reason it's not very good is because it took me 3 hours to set up the trick and there's a lot of arts and craft involved. If you're the sort of person that doesn't like arts and craft, that's an important consideration to understand. However, if somebody gave it a 1 and 2 star review and said, oh, I didn't like it because it was difficult, and, you know, it was tricky and it used moves that I can't do, but you consider yourself an expert at sleight of hand, that won't be an issue for you. So just because someone's given it a bad review doesn't mean it doesn't mean that it's going to be a bad review for you. It depends on the type of performer you are, the type of magic you do, and the type of person the reviewer is, which is why it's good a lot of the time to watch the online review shows like Magic TV and Magic Orthodoxy and Real Magic Reviews and, you know, Michael O'Brien, and the list goes on, because those magic review shows will give you a good idea of what the trick is like, whether it's good or it's bad or it's indifferent, right? So make sure that you check out the reviews. The next point is, if possible, go and see it in person. Now we're, you know, hopefully through the worst of the pandemic, magic conventions are coming back, and they're coming back big time. There's magic conventions taking place all over the world at the moment. And when you go to a magic convention, you're going to be able to typically see the trick, and you're going to be able to work out if it works for you. Actually try and see the trick in person if you can. You know, understand that if you go to a magic convention, or let's say the person who's created it is at a dealer you know, stand or something, or that, having a lecture in an area near you, go and see it, because that will probably give you an idea of whether the trick is actually suitable for you or not. Just because your friend has told you it's bad and shown it you and done it badly doesn't mean it's bad. And I'll give you an example. I'll give you the perfect example. I was lecturing at the Wessex Magic Convention a few weeks ago, and somebody came over to me and said, oh, hi, Craig, I'm a big fan of your channel, thanks very much. And then they said, I haven't got quantum, I got a lot of your stuff, I haven't got the quantum deck because I think it's terrible. I'm like, oh, okay. And I was like, well, why do you think it's so bad? And they were like, well, I saw my friend do it and it just looked obvious. And I'm like, okay. Why? And they told me all the reasons it looked obvious. And I was like, okay, well, let me show you a trick. And I brought out my quantum deck and I did it for him. And he was like, oh my God, is that a new version? I was like, no, it's the same thing. He's like, do it again. I did it for him like 4 times. He's like, that looks amazing. I'm sitting right here and I can't see anything. I'm like, yeah, that's the point. And then he went and bought himself one. And the point is, a lot of the time, and I don't know why magicians do this, but they do. They rush the performance. They watch it and they go, right, okay, I've got that down. And then they rush the performance. Ryland does this all the time. Drives me up the wall. He'll learn a trick and he'll try and perform it before he's not ready, and I have to reel him in. But if you've got a friend or a magic buddy that does that and then tries to show you a marketed trick that they've gone and bought and it looks bad, it might not necessarily be bad. It might not necessarily, excuse me, be as bad as you think it is. It's just that they haven't learnt it correctly. I've seen people butcher the linking rings, absolutely butcher the linking rings, but I still do the linking rings in my show because I just know how to perform it correctly, right? So understand that that's a really important point that you need to kind of really kind of understand, really, which is just because you see somebody do it and do it badly or tell you it's bad doesn't necessarily mean it is. And the final point that I'm going to give you, and I bang on about this on the channel, so you're probably not going to be surprised that I say this, is don't be so focused on the latest and greatest magic tricks that you forget about the ones that came out years ago. We stand on the shoulders of giants. Some of the greatest tricks I perform are tricks that were created, released and marketed weeks, months, years, even decades ago. Some of the strongest stuff I do is older items. Just because the latest and greatest magic trick comes out doesn't mean it's the greatest magic trick. Look back at old tricks. Here's a tip for you that I've given to a lot of people in the past. Go onto the Magic Cafe, go onto latest and greatest, and go back about 500 pages. And then look at what's being talked about back then. That is probably a really good trick. And it's probably one that not many people are doing these days because it was like 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago that everyone was talking about it. Go and check that out. Find out if that's still available. You want something to do that's different to what everyone else is doing? Go look at older items. You know, everybody is going to be buying the Luxes and the Quantum decks of the world because it's the newest thing and everybody wants one and all the dealers are promoting it. Go and find something that's really, really old that everyone has forgotten about. Go and find a hidden gem. So there you go, guys. That is another video in the bag. I hope you enjoyed that. It's advice that I really think that people should take on board. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'd love to know your thoughts. Don't forget, if you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. If you want to join the NETRIX and see what all the fuss is about, go to www.thenetrix.com. It is the fastest growing magic streaming platform on the internet. And I will be back again very, very soon with another video. I'm going to be back again very soon with another video. Thanks very much for watching. My name's Craig from Magic TV.